So hello everyone, I'm Amobers and you are viewing this channel for now. So subscribe this channel first, I will tell you. So before telling the topic, I want to introduce this topic a little. So how are you able to see me? So this phenomena enables us to see. So if you're seeing the objects near you, that is because of the light. So we will study more about light and its types and other phenomena that is caused by lights. So let's begin with the video. What is light? How can we see each other? What enables us to see? So friends, all these answers of questions are here. So what is light? So first of all, light is the thing or source from which we can see each other. So which enables us to see. It is a source of energy also. So moving forward, I'll talk about types of light. So furthermore, learning the properties, I will tell you about the reflection. What is reflection? So the light which strikes on the fall or it strikes on the surface and it falls on it and bounces back from the same medium is known as reflection. So what is reflections? We have studied it. So the types of reflection or what influences the reflection of light, let's study. So the first term comes in our mind when we see the reflection of light is the incident ray. What is incident ray? So now the light source, so the light emitted from the light source come and hit the surface or reflected surface. So now the middle part of this reflection, the ray emitted from the light source to the surface is known as the incident ray. The point of incidence. What is point of incidence? So now the thing comes is when the light source emits its light, so the light comes from the light source and strikes on the object. This is known as the incident ray. And now where the light is been striking, when the light is bouncing back, the point is known as the point of incidence. So now friends, we have the reflected ray. So what is reflected ray? So now when the incident ray hits the surface, that is a reflected surface, so when it hits, it comes back. So when it comes back, this ray is known as the reflected ray. So now when the incident ray when it hits this reflected surface, makes a perpendicular segment there. So when the reflected ray again comes into the same path, this ray is known as the normal or the normal ray. So now we have studied about incident ray, the normal ray and the reflected ray. So now we will study about the angle of incidence. So what is angle of incidence? Now, so when the angle between the normal and the incidence ray is known as the angle of incidence or incidence angle. So now, when we move forward, we have the angle of reflection or reflected angle. So, what is that? So, the angle between the reflected ray and the normal is known as the reflected ray. So now, moving to the first formula or moving to the first law of reflection, I want to tell you about the law is of the angle I is equal to the angle R. What this means is, now we have studied about angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So now, what is angle of incidence? So now the angle of incidence is 30, then the angle of reflection will be 30 itself. So how? For this, we will conduct an experiment. And to do that experiment, we have made a video. So we will actually, now we will be studying about the second law of reflection. So first law we have understood that the angle I is equal to R. What is the second law? And to study the second law of reflection, we have to first know about the angle of incidence, the incident ray, the reflected ray, the normal, and the angle of reflection and angle of incidence. So now when we know this, we can easily understand the second law of reflection. So what is second law of reflection? So in this law, the incident ray, the normal ray, point of incidence, and the reflected ray all are in the same path. All come in the same path. This is known as the second law of reflection. And for instance, if you don't know, I will tell that the third law of some of the laws in physics are the same. Can you guess it? Yes, that is every action has its equivalent reaction. So it is also the same. So the action is the incident ray, and when it falls on the surface, it hits back, it bounces back. This is equivalent reaction towards it. So let's finish the first part of the light lesson. So this will be our introduction towards light. Please view the second part also.